Welcome back to the Daily Crypto Market Update. BTC had a very surprising close for Sunday, up 2.3%, literally out of nowhere. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, it literally just happened 4 hours ago. All of a sudden, it just woke up, literally just started moving up about 2%. Insane. Now, does this mean that we are good? Actually, no. I feel like this is a really mean trick. I feel like it's a really mean setup. Why? Because now this has actually created a very small CME gap. Seriously, why do this right before, or basically right when the new candle starts, right? Why not just wait a little bit? Because look at the price here, $110,990. If you go back to the 4-hour time frame, $110,990. It was already at this level. Honestly, I feel like this is a cruel joke from people that are manipulating the market, getting everyone excited to go long, only to have the price go back down and close the gap. So again, unfortunately, we have a CME gap at 110,990. No gap for Ethereum, hooray, which is great. We do have a gap as well for Solana. Yay. Now let's move over to Ethereum's chart. It's working on an open short today, even though we had a decent close up yesterday of 3%. It's good to see Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin in the short term, which is good. We do have a close short here, and that's why both of these have orange flags. Same thing for all of these guys. Looking at ETH BTC, this is again another really helpful chart to help us gauge the strength of the market. And while we did have a green close, not really that strong, to be honest, not really that exciting or bullish. Now, one thing to consider is hopefully we just get this quickly filled. And regrettably, again, it's going to be a move of like 1.7%. Hopefully it's just closing and we go back up. I have a feeling there's going to be more chop. But anyway, the main thing to focus on right now is not only did we just finish last week's candle red and it tagged the fast line, but we are very close to finishing out the month of September. And yeah, the prediction, or rather the monthly performance for September has been red. So if we actually close green, this is insane because usually September is the worst performing month, period, for crypto. And the good news is that historically speaking, October, November are going to be extremely bullish months for Bitcoin, especially in a top year, which is exactly where we are right now. When we look at dominance levels, stablecoin dominance, we need to go over here to the daily time frame, had a fantastic pullback because of BTC's last minute pump. It fell down 2%, which is great. Not only did it fall down 2%, but it also printed the inverse, which is a TBO Close Long. That's why this has a blue flag right here. Same thing with Bitcoin dominance. Notice what happens before those. TBT bearish divergence. This is not part of the TBO, the trending breakout indicator. This is a different pro tier indicator, but it lets us know, watch out. Now, the reason why I'm excited about this blue dot right here, the blue diamond, is that this cancels out this, which is great. We don't want to see the price have explosive upside moves because that's what those TBO breakouts do. The breakouts, where that's where we get the trending breakout indicator's name from, the breakouts. That's bad. Now, here's something I have to just remind you of again and again and again, and it's okay. Yes, this is a great move. Because we have a close short, the expected thing to happen next is for the price of Bitcoin to go down to tag the fast line on this time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, the fast line's at 110,427. 110,427. So that means that we will close the CME gap today if it actually absolutely just dumps right here. Okay, now this is the inverse. We have a TBO Close Long. So this means that we are expecting this chart to go up and tag the fast line right there at 6.6%, which is an increase of about 1.32%. So we have a sudden pump right at the start of the week, creating a CME gap. It just feels like a setup to basically a bull trap, unfortunately. Now it is good though, because the fact that we got a nice push like this and we're seeing the price, moving up out of this range, I'm happy, honestly, and I'm good with this. We're back inside the cloud. We're in bullish consolidation, which is way better than bearish consolidation. Volume wasn't there at all for Sunday, but that's okay for the weekend. We know that we had an RSI reset for Bitcoin, even though it's very, very tiny. Like that's the weakest one I've ever seen, but we're still looking good. Now, Bitcoin dominance, this is one that still needs to be paid attention to closely. We have a TBO Close Long here on Saturday, another one here Sunday, another one here Monday. These are fantastic. Note the difference. We only have one here for stablecoin dominance, but for Bitcoin dominance, having 3 of these in the span of 2.5 days or so is amazing. This is great. This is actually a huge sigh of relief to me, because I don't necessarily want to see Bitcoin dominance go up. Do I think it will? Yes, I think it will eventually tag the fast line, which now last week it closed at 60.51%. It's this first number right here, it says TBO Fast. So right now it's moving down to 60.33. If we just get a quick little tag of that fast line, I'll be satisfied, and then we'll probably see something like this, tag it, and then we're going to see Bitcoin dominance go lower. That's the expected outcome. Why? Because now we're on the weekly time frame. It's going to take longer for these TBO close longs to be closed, to be fulfilled. And what is it, or rather, what is that condition to be fulfilled? When the price tags the fast line. So that's something I'm waiting on the weekly time frame. But short term, this is great. I'm happy about this. Ethereum dominance, TBO close short. We're going to see a lot of these today. Solana dominance, TBO close short. Notice what happens every single time before these, by the way. Well, not every single time, but for a lot of these charts, TBT bullish divergence. And total ES knocks it out of the park. For one, now we have the inverse, right? Before we were looking at TBO breakouts, and then we had a close long. Well, this TBO breakdown cluster is really bad. So the fact that we have a TBO close short, this orange dot invalidates these. This is like good. And notice what happened before. TBT bullish divergence, 1, 2, and the third one creates a cluster, which is why this is yellow. This is a very bullish reversal sign. This is great, especially because this chart is total ES, which is the total crypto market cap excluding stablecoins. Now, because we have a close long on the daily, we have been waiting for the price to come up and tag the fast line, which is currently at 3.58 trillion. This number right here. So we will probably have a quick pullback to close that CME gap, unfortunately. And again, I feel like this is one big setup, but it is good. And this is the right thing to happen. At least it propels direction. So I'm expecting the CME gap to get closed, and then we'll continue our leg up higher. Now, there's way more I want to share with you in this video, but before I get to that, I want to draw your attention to the pinned comment below, as well as the description. Head on over to thebettertraders.com right now. We're having a flash sale on Mastering Passive Income, which is our advanced bot trading course. This one right here. So it's advanced, so it's going to go deeper into DCA bot trading, also deeper into trend trading. It's going to go deeper into utilizing and creating multiple streams of revenue for yourself as an automated trader, whether it's trading or whether it's lots of other stuff, which I share in the course. And if you just want to get started in automated crypto trading, you got to check out 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom. Great course. All of our courses come with one-on-one coaching. They all come with a trial to the Better Traders Club, which has a lot of amazing tools like the TBO indicator. The main thing, though, is that with Mastering Passive Income, because it's an advanced course, you get a 1-month trial to the pro tier of the club, which includes everything, including the TBO Pro, the TBO Pro Backtester, the DCA Backtester Pro, and also the TBT Divergence Indicator. There is a ton of stuff included in that. So we need to get into today's picks, but before we do, I want to invite you to leave a comment down below. I have some picks from videos that I've shared on Friday and Saturday, so I'm going to be looking at some of those charts. If there are tickers that you're interested in that I'm not covering, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Help me to reach my target of getting 100,000 subs this year. Is it a lofty goal? Yes, but if it's not a lofty goal, then it's not really worth striving toward, right? So I want you guys to leave a comment, let me know. Before we get to it, actually, over here, which is kind of funny, speaking of automated trading, so I now have a new long that's opened up. So I got stopped out here because of my stop loss, and I have a new long position that has just opened here for Bitcoin and also for WIF. Notice that these stop losses that are here, these are automated. This is actually a pretty insane stop loss. Just below the wick yesterday. Please don't get stopped out, but we'll see what happens there. And I also have my SOL BTC position. If you guys remember this one, I have not hit my first take profit target yet. here, but you can see it's doing well. It's doing exactly what I was waiting for. So when I enter a position on my signals, I'm prepared to buy the dip, which is exactly what happened. And now I'm just waiting and holding. So I am just in profit. The price of Solana needs to outperform Bitcoin by about 4% for me to hit my next take profit target, and then the next one, and then I can walk away with more BTC in my account. This is why I'm trading SOL BTC specifically to grow my Bitcoin portfolio. You get it? So just wanted to share that update with you. Now we're going to get into today's picks. So things are going to look pretty red, although just literally 45 minutes ago, everything was looking really green because how Bitcoin closed. So it's amazing to me, and I'm shocked that Flare is still valid in terms of its breakout, mainly because we have this TBO breakout from Wednesday, massive pullback, great response Friday, and it's slowly moving up higher. We don't have any more TBO breakouts, but more importantly, we don't have one of these blue diamonds, which invalidates the breakouts. So now that we've reset this with an open short, now an open long, cool. Now we have a clean slate. We have one breakout. The other thing I'm watching here for Flare is long-term overhead resistance. That is literally since the chart's inception. This is a very interesting chart, at least for trading. But as far as like a bullish setup, it's making some interesting moves. If it were to lose and just dump right away, it's going to hurt real bad. But we're getting closer and closer to testing overhead resistance, which hasn't really been tested. It wasn't tested over here in December 2024. Kind of tested last week, but not really. We really want to see the price tag this level. It's getting closer and closer. I think it will happen. Immutable, or IMX. This one had a TBO breakout cluster, retrace back down to the fast line, and I have our TBO springboard bounce. Perfect. Goes right back down to it. It actually did a second TBO springboard bounce going up higher, which is fantastic. Volume has fallen off a bit. This is my only concern, but pretty good volume for a weekend, to be honest. On the 4-hour time frame, it's back above the cloud, which is positive. I'm just watching this chart. I mean, it's really whippy. It's great for trading, okay? Now, do you guys remember last week when I shared this one? I said, well, that AI XBT agent was saying that all of these huge holders for SPX 6900 were rotating into Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, Inu. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm reading this ticker. This POS ticker pumped yesterday 58%. Look at that volume. So coincidence? Could be. But the main thing that's happened here is that not only did it push above overhead resistance, it absolutely slammed it. Now, short term, massively overbought. Can it continue? Sure. But that's an insane candle right there. It might have a pullback down here to about 8 cents before it continues higher, but you heard it here first. Well, actually, you heard it if you follow that account, but I'll let you guys know about it. So I think it is still bullish, but I'm just waiting for a pullback there to get confirmation if it's going to go up higher. Quant, this one has had some crazy price action. For starters, when we had the pullback last Monday, it went right down here to TBO support, literally wicking into that level. Look at that. So got our entry, even though it went back down again on Thursday. It pumped again on Friday. And now look at it. This is insane. Is that not insane to you guys? It is to me. Quant has had such an amazing move. What a great show of strength as well, which is why this is green, because it's bullish in my opinion. Now, there are a lot of these orange flags, even though things are looking kind of red, but I just explained to you why these are important. We know that TBO close shorts are great bullish reversal signals. And the thing you have to understand about them is that as bullish as they are, the location in regards to support matters a lot. We want to see these orange dots printed right above or right at support. But if we see a lot of them printed up here, we get multiples like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like a lot of them, that's bullish. One by itself isn't good enough. Seeing multiples, though, is a good signal. Like, look over here. TBO close long, too close together. It'd be great if we had a lot more, but what eventually happened? They warned us that the bullish uptrend from back over here was coming to an end. Totally right. The price went up 3%, but ultimately it fell 11%. They did exactly what they're supposed to do. Now we have the bullish inverse, which is great. But one by itself is not enough. You get it? So we got one for XRP, for Solana. Notice the TBT bullish divergence that precedes it. Link, Hype, actually, link real quick. I wanted to show you something really important. The price struggled to push above the 618 on Friday and Saturday, but yesterday, this newly closed candle, even though it printed a TBO open short, which is bearish, this is actually great because it pushed back above the 618. That's a good sign of strength. Now, is volume there to support it? Absolutely not. No. But look at this RSI reset. That's a good sign that we should see Link continue to move up higher. Let's keep going. Hype, TBT, bullish divergence, and then we have a close short from the last 4-hour candle. Bitcoin Cash, look at this. TBT bullish divergence cluster. That's what this yellow tag is right here. It's from this indicator. Again, it's a pro tier indicator. So if you take Mastering Passive Income, you'll get access to this thing. It's basically just converting or changing one of these TBT bullish divergences into a yellow flag. When I see these, this is a big deal. This is a really big deal. I'm excited about this. Mainly because I have a long open on Bitcoin Cash and I'm expecting it to do well. Even though it confirmed an open short on the daily, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the bullish reversal signal on the 4-hour. I'm excited about that. Pump, 2 TBT bullish divergences and a close short on the 1 a.m. candle today. Why is this highlighted right here? Because on the daily time frame, I talked about this last week saying, well, the price has found support here from the TBO. Isn't that nuts? So see this red dotted line turns to green. It used to be resistance, red, and then it turns to support when the price was above it, green. Look where the price fell on Thursday, held on Friday, tagged it again Saturday, Sunday did it again, and then it had a nice 20% pump. That's pretty amazing. Honestly, it is. Fartcoin. I know this one is probably going to be getting more exciting, but I'm still really cautious about this guy. I've been burned too many times trading this guy. The main thing I'm going to be watching and waiting for, to be honest, and I know you're going to be like, what? Because these failed, but it's going to be more TBO close shorts. We already have our RSI reset, which is decent, but I'm still waiting. Morpho, if you remember this one from last week, this is one that had a great show of strength. The price fell down here to long-term support that was set here on April 16th, established here in June the 22nd. And look at this bounce that's happening right now. This is great. I have big hopes for Morpho. Eventually, I expect it to go up there to like 259 to TBO resistance, but it's going to take some time. Now, for the not so bullish news, unfortunately, remember NEAR had this great show of strength, but it struggled over here at historical TBO resistance and also here as well. Have a TBO close long on Thursday, another one confirmed on Saturday. That's not good. Seeing 2 of these close together, like I just shared, is not good at all. IP, this one has a TBO close long, and now it's been closed. So I want to clarify this again. When we get one of these, it lets us know if you're in a long position and you haven't taken any profits out yet, consider taking a little bit of profit out once the price tags the fast line, which is exactly what it did right there. So that's our closed symbol, I guess you could say. Now, does this mean that the chart's over? No, not necessarily, but that's a pretty nasty pullback for IP. Now, some charts that you should be keeping an eye on for sure. Binance Coin, this one closed right at the 1272 on Sunday's close. Even though it dipped inside the cloud on Thursday, moved back above on Friday, it's above Saturday, Sunday, and now it's back up above the 1272. That's impressive, to be honest. I've also made a point, especially in the club, in my market analysis write-up, but I also shared with you guys last week, when we have pullbacks like what we've seen, it works out so much better to focus on charts that were previously bullish. So we know that Binance Coin had an insane rally to a new all-time high above $1,000, 27% over 16 days. We get a pullback, same idea, right? We get a pullback. This is our entry. This is our TBO springboard bounce. So that was our entry right there for BNB. SHIB. This one happened to be requested by one of you guys, or maybe multiple people, but this one is still valid. Again, the price came down to TBO support here at 1166 on Thursday, held it on Friday. Very similar actually to, is it Hype? No, must be Pump. Yep, very, very, very similar to Pump. See that? Really similar, except the price has just been massively, massively oversold. SPX, this one continues to chug sideways. It's not such a bad thing, other than the fact that we're just seeing lower highs. That's not good. We did have an RSI reset, not really seeing an incredible show of support necessarily. There's less demand, maybe because we're going to see this take off instead. I don't know yet. But it's not looking so great. TIA, this one very similar to, I lost it again, didn't I? Good grief. Hyperliquid, Hype, and also SHIB. So again, coming down here to TBO support on Thursday, great entry, even though it's TIA. And trust me, I don't like TIA just as much as you don't, but it could be setting up for a double bottom bounce. Could be. One thing to be very aware of with this chart is that it is obviously putting in lower highs over and over. It is a massively bearish chart on the daily time frame, massively bearish on the day, on the weekly, on the daily, on the 4-hour. Now we do have some TBD bullish divergence signals, but again, it's a really risky chart. Aster, this is one I just wanted to give an update on the daily time frame. We did have some good price action that's moving back and forth with this short-term Fibonacci level drawn from this high to that low, okay? The reason why I'm not changing anything is because price is respecting what's on the chart. We can see the price kind of sort of coming down here to the 618, but we see a clear bounce of it here on Sunday. Notice what's happening. We are seeing slightly lower lows. We're seeing lower highs. Now, do we have a bull flag? No, we don't. But the price is oscillating a lot, which is good for trading. On the hourly time frame, you can see that these TBT bullish divergences that were on Friday evening played out well. They had a nice 12% response. We have more of these, but the chart's looking tired. It's not looking as bullish as it was, and everyone is really, really excited about it, in my opinion. Let's get on to your picks. So again, if you have charts you're interested in me checking out, leave a comment down below. First off is index. Now, I'm shocked that people still like this chart. It's a good chart for trading, I will say that much. But in terms of like holding, no, this chart has failed massively, miserably, because the whole idea of the index cooperative, from what I knew it back over here in 2022, is that basically it was one of the first real crypto indexes, or indices is a better way to say it, where it's taking percentages of all these coins, putting all the performance together and putting it into a coin, like, right, it was a basket. So it was one of the cool ideas that failed miserably, unfortunately, because really this should be up a lot higher, should it not? Because Bitcoin has done so well, but clearly it hasn't. Now, in terms of trading, great chart for trading. Honestly, like these moves up here, not bad, 40%. And yes, we do have a crazy TBO close short cluster right here. Literally 5 of these in the span of, what is this? This is insane. Oops, I wanted to do this. In 20 days, 22 days. That is crazy. Now, does it mean that the chart's going to absolutely pump from here? I'd love to say yes, but that's just crazy. It shows that there's a lot of pent-up price action that we should see some sort of response. Like back over here. Let's see if I can find another example. That's insane, though, to see so many close together. 5 of those is a lot. So I will give that chart that credit, okay? Pepe, this one has been oscillating a lot. It lost support over here, but just like it did back in September, right? So we're seeing lower lows. We're also seeing lower highs. Let me turn off the TBO so that way it's a little bit more clear so I can explain what I'm talking about. We want to pay attention to price patterns and oscillating points, right? So here's our pivot high, pivot low, but it's a lower high and we're doing like this dance. It's not pretty. Really what we want to see, I mean, the ideal world is a perfectly oscillating chart, much easier for trading. But what's happening is that it's starting to thin out. And unfortunately, what really happened right here is that it lost support. It's short term, very, very, very short term. Now, in terms of the TBO, it's bearish because it's below the cloud. It was looking good mid-September, and then it lost it, open short on the 22nd, and it's just chugging. Now, it doesn't mean it's dead. It doesn't mean it's over. Not necessarily. It's really indecisive on the weekly. It's not looking as strong as it has before. I mean, we had an RSI reset, but volume's fallen off a lot. On-balance volume is looking bearish, even though the moving average is going up. The blue line, which represents on-balance volume, is below. That's bearish. So it's not really like the most exciting chart to trade right now. I know some people love Pepe. That's cool. You do you. But I think there are way better plays, and Pepe really already had its time in the sun. Pepe was just crazy back over here in 2024. It absolutely just skyrocketed up. Do I think it's going to happen again? Probably not. It had its time, and now it's going to go into hibernation probably. It could probably go back up to these highs. I mean, if it's going to do anything, oh, okay. How do you guys not see this when you look at these charts? I'm serious. How do you not see this? Like this is all I see right now. Seriously, we have our high, then we have, it takes a while for it to bottom, then we have a lower high, then a lower high, then a lower high. This is what I'm seeing. How do you guys not see this? Why are you guys looking at these? Like, yes, there could be a bullish reversal. We had a great bullish reversal here in March, but TBD bullish divergence let us know. It still took some time, but incredible. Over here, July, TBD bullish divergence and a cluster. Great entry, but it didn't go up as high. Keep that in mind. Here's another one. How high does it go? Nowhere near as high. Keep it in mind, okay? Last but not least, Helium Tech. Again, super frustrating chart. Yes, TBD bullish divergence. Yes, it went back down to support. Again, like I would love to see this chart pump. I think that it will, to be honest, just because it's so hated. In that it just hasn't performed well. I think when everything starts to get really bullish, by the beginning of November, alts should start waking up, and I feel like they're going to top out by the time we get to early December, maybe the second week of December. So I think that helium can move up here. I don't think it's going to go like crazy, mainly because it's just taken such a long time. And even this last move up here, good move, 500%. Can't argue with that. But I don't necessarily see a reason for it to do the same exact thing. There's clear resistance here at weekly TBO resistance at 913 or so. So just keep that in mind. And if it does do that and it goes right up here, it will be falling back down there, like easy peasy. I mean, if not down here. So just keep that in mind, okay? Once things start to pump, you're going to get really excited about putting your take profit targets higher instead of taking profit, instead of sticking to your trading plan, which is exactly what we talk about in the Better Traders Journal, which is right there. So understand that you guys have to stick to your trading plan no matter what. Please, please, please take profits on the way up. I do expect October and November to be bullish for Bitcoin, but there are no guarantees for alts. I feel like we're going to see a selective alt season at peaks in December, and that's that. And I think that we're going to see a really, really frustrated market heading into Q1 2026, and things are going to get really, really bad. This is my thought, though. Like, you guys do what you want to do. If you don't agree with me, if you think it's going to be a 5-year cycle, cool. But don't blame me if you're not taking profits as the price goes up. That's my plan. That's always been the plan. You have to follow your trading plan from start to finish. Again, that's what we talk about in the journal. So go to thebettertraders.com, check out our courses, especially 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom. And if you're curious about the club, watch this video, the Better Traders Club that I shared before. There's a lot of stuff that's in it. I actually give you a short tour of the Discord server and the club portal. So watch that. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.